Happy New Year to all of you. All of you guys, even though if you are subscribed, if you are not subscribed to this channel, doesn't matter. I wish you all the very best in 2023, and I'm also very confident that 2023 might be the beginning of a new bull market. I'm sure that excited you, but this chart is actually showing us that maybe 2023 could be the beginning of a new bull market, and that's exactly, guys, that's exactly what we are going to talk in today's video. So before we jump into the content, before we talk about this interesting scenario unfolding right now for Bitcoin, please destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now what I want you guys to look at is this yearly chart. According to this yearly chart, we can see very clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin right now could be starting a new year, and this year 2023 could be the actual start of a new bull market. So what I want you guys to do is to look at this candle here from January 2010, January 2014, January 2018, and January 2022, because before starting this new bullish trend or before starting a new bull market, first we had a bearish year. Yes, guys, but there was never a consecutive two bearish yearly candle. So that means if we are going to follow this same exact rhythm one more time, after zero we had this 1, 2, 3 year of bullish trend before again having this bearish trend. Now 1, 2, 3 bullish trend before having another bearish trend. This exact pattern has been repeating since 2010. Yes, guys, and according to this pattern, we already had this bearish year. So now what we could be forming is this bullish year for the coming years. Yes, 1, 2, 3 bullish year starting this year. Yes, 2023 might be the start of a new bull market, but here is a twist, guys, and I want to show you that before expecting this actual market phase type of scenario to play out for Bitcoin. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to look at this chart here in a weekly time frame, and let me explain you why the area where we are finding ourselves right now could be a very, very important line which we are not supposed to break. Yes, if we break this line, if we break the support which we have here from this rising trend line since 2018, then we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to actually start with this downtrend here in 2023, get attracted towards the next area of confluence between 10 to 12,000 before starting a new market phase. Yes, even though this year 2023 could be the beginning of a new bull market, first I am actually expecting the price of Bitcoin to show further weakness once we break the support around 16,000, right? Get attracted towards the next area of confluence, which in our case is between 10 to 12,000 range, find bottom around that area before starting a new market phase, because it would make a lot of sense. If you look at this simple example here, when the price of Bitcoin was approaching the previous high from 2017 around 19,000, around 20,000, you can see when the price came around that area, got gravitated around that area, we did saw some sort of a support line for Bitcoin. You can see support, but now since we have already lost the key line of support, the next area confluence, as you can see very clearly in this chart, is going to be around 10 to 12,000 range. So that's why, guys, that's why this 10 to 12,000 range, which also acted as one very important line of resistance in the past price action, could be attracting the price once we lose the support around 16,000. Yes, guys, once we lose the support around 16,000, this 10 to 12,000 might be attracting the price before we find bottom and also starting with the new market phase. So according to my analysis as well, if the price of Bitcoin is going to show further corrective movement, do not worry, guys, you just have to hold tight, because I think the end of 2023, Q4 2023 might actually be the beginning of a new bull market. And it's not just only this chart indicating that in the upcoming months, if we lose the support around the 16,000, the market could see further retracement here to the downside between 10 to 12,000 before starting a new market phase at the end of 2023. Also, this logarithmic chart, yes guys, even this logarithmic chart is clearly pointing us that in the coming days, if we lose the support what we have around 16,000 here in the medium short term, we have to be careful, because that could trigger another sell-off where we could be getting gravitated around the lower band from this logarithmic curve. Yes, if we look at this logarithmic curve lower band, if we do get gravitated around this area, this lower band is also somewhere between 12,000 11,000 range. Yes, between 11 to 12,000 is also this lower band. So that's why we said if we do see a retracement after failing to find support around the 16,000, then the next area of confluence around 10 to 12,000 could be attracting the price before starting a new market phase like this. Because according to this logarithmic curve, you can see the market did saw a retracement around this lower band before starting a new market phase. So in our case, if this is going to be another similar scenario unfolding for Bitcoin, then guys, we could be slowly getting attracted towards the lower band area before finally finding bottom and also starting with a new market phase. But my price target around 10 to 12,000 remains, even though we are calling that this year 2023 might be the beginning of a new bull market. Now, beside this guys, what I also want to indicate today, since many might also be wondering, Anup, what's up with your Wyckoff's chart? Guys, according to this Wyckoff, I have been very clear. We need to find proper accumulation before expecting a new market phase, because that's how market tends to work. We need a actual accumulation phase. Ending that could only trigger a new impulsive movement. And for us, we have said to start with a new market phase, to start with a new bull market, we need to form a proper accumulation phase. And this accumulation phase, or this range between 10 to 12,000, might be the bottom line where we start to show more of a range bound for months before starting this new market phase. Because according to Wyckoff, you can see before we start with the new market phase, the market needs to find support at a certain level before starting a new market phase. But according to Stan Weinstein theory, you can see before we call it an actual trend reversal, it's not just only enough to see range bound, but we also have to overcome the resistance from this 30-week moving average. Yes guys, this 30-week moving average should also be flipped into support, just like as shown here in an example, right? 30-week moving average must be flipped into support before expecting this market to show a actual reversal. So in our case, if you look at these weekly candles, we are clearly below this 30-week moving average, and the market could be slowly arriving around this bottom line. Yes, the bottom might be nearing, so we have to be careful. Even though we are expecting bullish trend to continue for Bitcoin for the upcoming year, for this upcoming month, we have to be careful, because once we lose the support, which we have around 16,000 for Bitcoin, this trend could potentially show another corrective movement between 10 to 12,000, find support around that area before starting a new market phase. Now, beside this yearly candle, beside this weekly candle, what we are also going to look at this daily candle. So before we talk about the CPI indicator, what I want you guys to do is to destroy that like button. But if you want to support me like it did in 2022, also in 2023, then do leave a comment as well, because you know a like and a comment is going to boost the algorithm of this channel and also boost the motivation for me to create content like this in a daily basis. Thank you very much. Now, if we look at the central pivot range indicator, these lines, what you can see, did actually unfolded like what we said. We were expecting this bottom line to be somewhere around 16,800 and the top to be somewhere around 17,200, 17,300, and it did. So what is this chart also indicating us? So if you have been following me for a while, this is how we predicted the price of Bitcoin to unfollow. Why? Because we found out the market is closing below the CPI line. This CPI line, or also known as traditional pivot line, are a leading indicator. Yes guys, this indicator provides information beforehand, and according to this leading indicator, we can see since the price of Bitcoin closed below the bottom line, this is a sign of weakness. Yes, but this is also a sign since the price has not touched any of the CPR line. It is a VCPR, and VCPR usually attracts the price before it chooses a trend duration like this. So that's why guys, that's why we are still expecting the price of Bitcoin to continue or show this relief rally at least around the CPR line before it chooses a trend duration, because this is exactly what unfolded also here in December 2022 when the price of Bitcoin was below the CPR line. I showed you that this was also a VCPR. You can see, for example, when we started the month of December in 2022, you can see the price at that time, right? Price at that time was also forming this VCPR. But when we had this VCPR, I was very clear we could be getting attracted towards this CPR line before price chooses a trend duration. We did got attracted, but you can see we unfortunately failed to find support above the CPR line. After that, we had this corrective price movement. So now this here is also a VCPR. VCPR means the price has not touched any of the CPR line, which in this case might be attracting us. So if we do see further attraction towards this CPR line, then at least 16,800 to 17,300 is where we could be getting gravitated in the medium short term before again continuing this bearish movement. Yes guys, we are expecting some sort of a relief rally to play out before price again starts showing weakness, because this is also a descending CPR. Descending CPR means we are weak and we are still in a downtrend, because descending CPR only gets formed when the trend is in a downtrend. But during uptrend, you can see the CPR starts forming this ascending CPR and also indicates the trend might be ready for this new market phase. So in our case, we are still forming this descending CPR indicating a weakness, but until the end of this year, maybe this might be changing like this. I mean, with some range bound consolidation starting a new market phase. Now, beside this here in a daily time frame, what we can also do is we can quickly look at this Williams alligator indicator. This crossover, the blue line appearing at the top, green line at the bottom, is still considered as a bearish scenario, but in the medium short term, we could still get attracted towards this Williams alligator indicator line before price gets rejected. Yes guys, these lines here could be attracting the price before facing resistance. Yes, these lines are definitely going to act as a resistance for Bitcoin. So that's why, according to this CPI indicator, you can see these lines could be attracting the price, but it is also going to act as a resistance since we are below it. Now, even this Williams alligator indicator, which could be attracting the price around 17,000, but could be also acting as a resistance. And that is the reason. That is the reason why we are expecting the price of Bitcoin in the medium short term. This is in an hourly time frame to show some sort of a relief rally here, right? Because this is exactly what we talked on my previous video, and now you can see it is playing out, guys. Price came back to retest the previous temporary resistance line, and after we flipped that into support, we had this really nice bullish candle. So if this trend is going to continue just like as shown here in an example, then we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to show further impulsive movement like this around 17,000, get attracted towards the CPI line, which is also around 17,000. You can see around this line before again turning bearish. So in the medium short term, if we do manage to remain over 16,600, then there is a probability for this trend also continue above 17,000 before showing weakness and also turning just like as shown here in an example. Why? Because we know this here is a bearish ascending triangle, and even though bearish ascending triangle is showing a different scenario, this is what we predicted, guys. We talked about this. Even though this is a bearish ascending triangle, in the medium short term, we could see some sort of a relief rally because we found out the price was forming a VCPR. And now if we do continue this uptrend here like this, then there is a very high probability we get attracted towards the 17,000 area first before again continuing this downtrend. So these are some of the quick updates that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please guys, please destroy that like button. If you are watching this for the first time, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell as well. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye and happy new year once again.